Have you ever wondered why some people seem to age so gracefully, navigating their 70s and 80s with a spark in their eye and a spring in their step, while others look and feel 10 years older than they really are? We often chalk it up to good genes or just plain luck, assuming that how we age is a lottery we can't win. But the truth is, the secret to youthful vitality or premature aging often lies hidden in the first 60 minutes of your day. The reality is that a few small, seemingly harmless morning habits, performed on autopilot day after day, are quietly accelerating the aging process. They are silently chipping away at your health, affecting everything from the wrinkles on your skin and your daily energy levels to your long-term cognitive function and physical independence. This isn't something that happens to other people. This could be you, and the most concerning part is you might not even realize it's happening until the damage is done. People around you might notice you seem more tired or frail, but they won't tell you. These are the hidden dangers that can lead to a loss of independence, making you feel like a burden before it's too late. In this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain on the 5 specific morning mistakes that can make you look and feel a decade older. These are the things no one tells you about your simple, everyday routines. But I won't just point out the problems. More importantly, I am going to give you the practical, simple solutions you can start using tomorrow morning to halt this process, protect your health, and reclaim the vibrant energy you deserve. This is about how to change your trajectory. Stay until the end because the 5th mistake is one that directly impacts your mobility and independence. And the simple fix I'll share is a profound secret that could be a complete game changer for how you feel every single day. Now let's get started. The first mistake is one that millions of people make without a second thought. Number 1. Waking up to a jarring alarm and hitting snooze. This habit feels like a small, harmless luxury, a way to steal a few extra minutes of rest. But behind the scenes, it's a significant shock to your system. When a loud, blaring alarm jolts you from a deep sleep, your body perceives it as a threat. This triggers an immediate spike in cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. A daily cortisol spike first thing in the morning is terrible for aging. Research has found that chronically elevated cortisol breaks down collagen and elastin, the very proteins that keep your skin firm and youthful. It literally accelerates the formation of wrinkles and saggy skin. Furthermore, hitting the snooze button and drifting in and out of a light, fragmented sleep doesn't give you more rest. It just leaves you in a state of sleep inertia, that groggy, disoriented feeling that can last for hours. For older adults, this morning grogginess is more than an inconvenience. It's a hidden danger that significantly increases the risk of dizziness and falls. Take George, a 74-year-old retired engineer. George had always prided himself on his discipline and punctuality, but his blaring digital alarm clock had become his morning nemesis. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., it would shriek, and he'd slam his hand down on the snooze button. He'd repeat this 2, sometimes 3 times, before finally forcing himself to jolt out of bed, always feeling unsteady on his feet and mentally foggy. He just assumed this was a normal part of getting older. What he didn't realize was that he was starting his day with a physiological stress response that was aging him. The turning point came when he nearly fell while walking to the bathroom one morning, feeling particularly dizzy after his usual snooze and jolt routine. It scared him. The consequences of ignoring this are serious. It leads to a state of chronic, low-grade stress, which contributes to high blood pressure, weakened immunity, and poor sleep quality. Most critically, that morning disorientation dramatically increases the risk of a fall, an event that can be devastating and life-altering, often marking the beginning of a loss of independence. Fortunately, the good news is the solution is incredibly simple. First, swap that jarring alarm for one that wakes you more gently. There are apps and clocks that use gradually increasing light to mimic a sunrise, or that wake you with soft, pleasant sounds like birdsong or chimes. Second, make snoozing impossible. Place your alarm clock or phone across the room. This forces you to physically get out of bed to turn it off, breaking the cycle. And here is the most crucial part. Once you are up, take a moment. Sit on the edge of the bed for a full 60 seconds before you stand up. This simple, mindful pause allows your body and your blood pressure to stabilize, clearing the dizziness and dramatically reducing your fall risk. It's a small adjustment that restores a sense of calm control to the very first moment of your day. Now let's move on to the next point. which often follows immediately after the first. Number 2. Reaching for coffee before water. After a long night's sleep, what's the first thing you crave? For so many of us, it's the rich aroma and comforting ritual of a hot cup of coffee. We believe we need it to wake up and get going. But what they don't tell you is that after 7 to 8 hours without any fluids, your body wakes up in a state of dehydration. Your cells, your skin, your joints, and your brain are all thirsty. Reaching for coffee first is a crucial mistake because coffee is a diuretic. Medical research indicates that it makes you urinate more, which can quietly worsen your underlying dehydration. This has a direct and visible impact on aging. Dehydrated skin loses its elasticity and plumpness, making fine lines and wrinkles appear much more prominent. It also affects you under the surface, contributing to brain fog, fatigue, and even joint stiffness, as the synovial fluid that lubricates your joints requires adequate hydration to do its job. Consider Helen, a 68-year-old retired teacher who was becoming increasingly frustrated with her appearance and how she felt. She would look in the mirror and see dry, crepey skin that she felt made her look much older than her years. She also suffered from frequent, dull morning headaches and a general sense of fatigue that she just couldn't shake. Her first move, every single morning without fail, was to shuffle to the kitchen and put the coffee pot on. She saw it as her lifeline. She had no idea that her most cherished morning ritual was actually the source of her problems. She was starting her day in a hydration deficit and then digging the hole deeper with her first drink of the day. The consequences of this seemingly innocent habit, when repeated over years, are significant. Chronic dehydration is a quiet saboteur of your health and appearance. It can lead to persistent brain fog, constipation, urinary tract infections, and stiff, achy joints. It makes you look and feel older by starving your body of the most essential nutrient it needs to function. Here's what you can do to fix this, and it's one of the easiest and most powerful changes you can make. The solution is to make water your first priority. Keep a glass of water on your bedside table every night. Before your feet even touch the floor in the morning, before you think about coffee or tea, drink that entire glass of water. Make it a non-negotiable ritual. This simple act rehydrates your brain, kickstarts your metabolism, and begins flushing out toxins that have built up overnight. For an extra boost, add a squeeze of fresh lemon to your water. It not only adds flavor, but also provides a dose of vitamin C and antioxidants that are great for your skin and immune system. You can still have your coffee, just have it after you've given your body the water it's craving first. This small change will have a huge impact on your energy levels and how your skin looks in just a few weeks. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. Your engagement really helps us understand what content is resonating with you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos that we create to help you live a healthier, more informed life. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's get to the mistake the title promised, the one that is perhaps the most common and the most damaging in our modern world. Number 3, the habit most seniors do first, checking your phone immediately. This is the big one. For so many people, the very first action of the day, even before sitting up, is reaching for the smartphone. We tell ourselves we're just checking the time, or the weather, or seeing if there are any important messages. The problem is, this single act hijacks your brain and sets a destructive tone for the entire day. The moment you unlock that screen, you are flooding your brain with a torrent of information, notifications, other people's emergencies, political arguments, and stressful world news. What happens physiologically is alarming. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a real-life threat and a stressful email. It responds by releasing a cascade of cortisol and adrenaline, the fight or flight hormones. You are literally putting your body and mind into a state of high alert reactivity before you've even had a chance to become fully conscious. You are starting your day on defense, reacting to the world's demands instead of proactively setting your own intentions. This is a secret recipe for accelerated aging. Let's look at someone like Robert, a 72-year-old widower. For Robert, his phone had become both a connection to the world and a source of profound morning anxiety. The very first thing he did every single morning, while still lying in bed, was grab his phone and begin to scroll. He'd see frightening headlines about the economy, read angry political posts from friends on social media, or see an email from his son that sounded urgent but was just a simple question. By the time he got up to make his coffee, he already felt a knot of anxiety in his stomach. He was irritable, his mind was racing, and he felt a sense of dread about the day ahead. His whole day felt like he was just putting out fires. What he didn't realize was that he was conditioning his brain to associate waking up with stress. He was training his nervous system to begin every single day in a state of alarm. The turning point came during a visit from his daughter. She noticed how tense and distracted he was in the mornings, constantly glancing at his phone. She gently suggested he try an experiment, a no phone for the first hour rule. Robert was skeptical and reluctant. He felt he needed to be informed. But he agreed to try. He started charging his phone in the living room overnight instead of by his bed. The first few mornings were difficult. He felt a pull, a sense of missing something. But instead of scrolling, he took his glass of water and sat by the window, simply watching the sun come up. After about a week, he noticed a profound and shocking change. He felt a sense of peace he hadn't experienced in years. He was calmer. He was more present. His outlook on the day became more positive and hopeful because he was the one setting the tone, not a headline or a notification. The devastating consequence of this phone habit is that it creates a state of chronic anxiety and can contribute to high blood pressure. It robs you of your mental peace and puts your body under immense, unnecessary stress. And as we know, nothing ages you faster than chronic stress. The solution is simple in concept, but it requires discipline. Declare the first 30 to 60 minutes of your day as sacred, no screen zone. As Robert did, leave your phone to charge in another room overnight. This physical barrier is crucial. Use that reclaimed time for something that nourishes your soul. Quiet reflection, gentle stretching, listening to calming music, journaling, or simply sitting and enjoying your first cup of tea or coffee in total peace. This allows your brain to wake up gently and allows you to start your day with intention and calm, not chaos and anxiety. Take control of your morning, and you take control of your life. Now, let's move on to what you put into your body after you've woken up. Number 4. Eating a sugar-packed, low-protein breakfast. Many of the breakfast foods we grew up with and see as comforting classics are, unfortunately, some of the worst culprits for accelerating aging. Think about the typical quick breakfast: a bowl of processed cereal, white toast with jam or marmalade, a sweet muffin, a pastry, or a fruit-on-the-bottom yogurt. These foods are loaded with sugar and refined carbohydrates. When you eat them, they cause a rapid, dramatic spike in your blood sugar. Your body then releases a surge of insulin to manage this sugar rush, which inevitably leads to a crash a couple of hours later, leaving you feeling tired, irritable, and craving more sugar. But the hidden damage is even more significant. Medical research has shown that this constant cycle of high blood sugar leads to a destructive process called glycation. Glycation is when excess sugar molecules in your bloodstream attach themselves to proteins, forming harmful new molecules called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. It's a fitting acronym because these AGEs are incredibly damaging. They specifically attack and degrade collagen and elastin, the two essential proteins that give your skin its structure, firmness, and elasticity. Essentially, a high-sugar breakfast is actively stiffening and wrinkling your skin from the inside out. Take the story of Margaret, a 78-year-old grandmother who cherished her morning routine. Every day, she would have 2 slices of white toast with her favorite orange marmalade and a cup of tea with 2 spoonfuls of sugar. It was the breakfast she'd had for 50 years. But lately, she couldn't understand why she felt so completely drained of energy by 10 a.m. She felt a mental fog settle in, and her arthritis pain always seemed to be at its worst in the late morning. She simply chalked it all up to her age, thinking, well, this is just what being 78 feels like. She had no idea her comforting breakfast was the primary driver of her energy crash and was contributing to the inflammation that aggravated her joint pain. The long-term consequences of this habit are severe. Beyond the visible aging of the skin, a daily high-sugar breakfast promotes chronic inflammation throughout the body, which is a root cause of many age-related diseases, including heart disease and arthritis. It also leads to weight gain, particularly around the midsection, and can pave the way for insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes over time. Fortunately, The solution is about making a smart swap, not about deprivation. The key is to build your breakfast around protein and healthy fats. Protein provides slow, sustained energy that keeps you feeling full and focused for hours, without the spike and crash. It is also absolutely crucial for maintaining muscle mass, which is vital for staying strong, preventing falls, and maintaining a healthy metabolism as we get older. Simple, delicious alternatives include a couple of eggs cooked any style, a bowl of plain Greek yogurt with a handful of berries and nuts, or a bowl of unsweetened oatmeal with chia seeds and a scoop of protein powder. Making this one change, shifting from a carbohydrate-heavy breakfast to a protein-focused one, can transform your energy levels, clear your brain fog, reduce inflammation, and help you maintain a healthy weight. If you are finding this information helpful and have made it this far, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. Your feedback is incredibly encouraging and lets us know we're on the right track. Now let's move forward to our final, and perhaps most physically important point. Number 5, skipping morning movement and stretching. After lying relatively still for 7 or 8 hours during sleep, our muscles become tight. Our fascia, the connective tissue that surrounds our muscles, becomes stiff, and our joints feel locked up. This is why so many of us feel that characteristic morning stiffness. The critical mistake is ignoring this feeling and jumping straight into the demands of the day. Trying to move your body without gently waking it up first is like trying to drive a car that's been sitting in the freezing cold all night without letting the engine warm up. You're forcing stiff, cold parts to perform, which is a direct path to chronic pain, poor posture, and a dangerous reduction in your mobility. This is one of the most overlooked factors that can make you feel and appear old before your time, as nothing says old like a stiff, shuffling gait. Consider the powerful story of Carol, an 81-year-old who had always been an avid walker. Her morning walk around the neighborhood was her social time, her exercise, and her mental health ritual. But over the past year, she started waking up feeling so incredibly stiff and achy in her back and hips that the thought of getting dressed, putting on shoes, and heading out the door felt like climbing a mountain. Her world was beginning to shrink, all because that initial morning stiffness felt like an insurmountable barrier. She started skipping her walks, telling herself she'd go later, but she rarely did. What she didn't realize was that her lack of movement was making the stiffness worse, creating a vicious cycle of pain and inactivity. The less she moved, the stiffer she got, and the stiffer she got, the less she wanted to move. Her fear of falling because of her instability was growing daily. The turning point came when her physical therapist didn't give her a complex exercise routine, but instead gave her a simple, 5-minute stretching routine to do before she even got out of bed. It was a revelation. While still under the covers, she would start with simple ankle circles, then point and flex her feet. She would gently hug one knee to her chest at a time, and then perform a gentle spinal twist by letting her knees fall to one side. It was so simple. Within a single week of doing this, she noticed a remarkable difference. The intense morning stiffness began to melt away. Soon, she felt confident enough to get back to her morning walks. That small, 5-minute investment gave her back her freedom, her confidence, and her favorite part of the day. The consequences of ignoring morning stiffness are profound. It quietly erodes your physical independence. It can lead to poor posture, which affects your breathing and digestion, chronic back and hip pain, and a significantly increased risk of falls from a lack of balance and flexibility. Fortunately, the solution does not require a gym membership or strenuous exercise. The good news is that you can make a huge difference in less than 5 minutes. Before you even get out of bed, do the simple stretches Carol did. Lie on your back and gently circle your ankles and wrists in both directions. Hug your knees to your chest, one at a time, then both together. While sitting on the edge of the bed, do some gentle neck rolls and shoulder shrugs. This isn't a workout, it's a wake-up call for your body. It sends fresh, oxygenated blood to your muscles and lubricates your joints, setting you up for a day with less pain, better balance, and more freedom of movement. It's a vital secret to staying mobile and independent for years to come. Now that we've covered these 5 morning mistakes, from the alarm clock you use to the breakfast you eat, take a moment to reflect on your own morning routine. Do any of these sound familiar? There is no judgment here, only awareness. Because with awareness comes the power to change. I want you to remember that these habits are not set in stone. You have control over your mornings, and therefore, you have a significant amount of control over how you age. Small changes make big differences. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Just pick one. Maybe tomorrow, you'll start with a glass of water. Or maybe you'll leave your phone in the other room. Each of these changes works together in a powerful synergy. They reduce the stress hormone cortisol, they fight the internal inflammation caused by sugar, and they protect and enhance your physical mobility. This isn't about adding more stressful tasks to your plate. It's about making smarter, kinder choices for yourself. It's about consciously deciding to start your day with peace, nourishment, and gentle movement, which gives you back energy, clarity, and vitality that you may have thought was gone for good. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.